Alright folks, welcome back. I am Shipwreck Sean, and this is episode 25 of Let's Play Sailwind. And today's episode, we are going to be taking the Sanbuq out for our maiden voyage. But first, a little update of what I've been up to off camera. So I decided I wanted to take the dhow out for a final round trip. And this way I could eat some of the bread that was on board and get through some of the resources. So I took mail to ansd and a decent amount of trade as well. I took green tobacco, pork, forest mushrooms and cave mushrooms for a pretty decent profit. I then took a nice little nighttime sail up to the ansd Academy. This time I had 2 missions, one of mail and some dates as well. 3 lots of those. And a little bit of trade this time. That's the results from the last sail. And this time we just had 2 lots of coconuts and 2 lots of spices. And then I took my final sail back to Gold Rock City, this time carrying 2 missions, 1 crate of medicine and 1 mail. Here are the results of the last sail, and this time I'm carrying 1 crate of sculptures, which turned out to be very heavy. I think that's probably the limit as to what the dhow can take. It made for a very slow sail, but a nice final send-off for our dhow. I then raced back to purchase the Sanbuq, but let me be honest with you folks, I wanted to do this whilst recording the episode, but I was experiencing a slight bug. As you can see, this is not supposed to happen. This kept happening to me whenever I was taking my crates off of the boat. It was almost as if the boat was still registering the crate was on board, so the further I took it away, the more the boat would heal. As you can see, my worldly affairs are now floating in the water. I decided I would then take her out for a little sail, and as you can see, no problems here. This is exactly how she's supposed to sail. So I was starting to panic about what I was going to do, because I could not for the life of me get this problem sorted. I tried many things, reloading a few times, I've looked up a few bugs. It seemed to be that it was mostly a problem with the docking, but I thought it had something to do with me purchasing the Sanbuq. But I went back to previous saves, and even before I purchased the Sanbuq, even before I went on that final sort of round trip, and I was still experiencing the same problem. Eventually though, I mean we can just enjoy this, but eventually I moved all of the crates to the centre of the boat and was able to take her out for a very slight sail in the harbour. So this is me docking her again. As you can see, all the crates are in the centre and the tables, etc. And that seemed to work for me in terms of then docking her and not having her heal. After that, I decided I was just going to empty all of the crates, sell the crates, and if that plan worked, then I was just going to carry everything from one boat to the other in my inventory. So we were able to get that to work, which was good. So we are now at a point where we have 2 boats. This pile you can see of oranges and water, and everything else on board, except from a couple of slices of bread, are now on the Sanbuq. So yeah, I'm not too sure what that bug was. It was a little bit of fun. I did give up at one point and leave it 24 hours before coming back to the game. As you can see, I've pulled the crate back, she's not healing. So that's good news. So I then just stocked up the Sanbuq. I haven't done too much interior design because I just wanted to get everything on board so that I could start the episode and do the rest with you all. So yep, that's your little update as to everything that's happened off camera, and I don't think we've fixed the bug or whatever, but we're not dealing with it anymore, so that's good. And so, with that little intro out of the way, let's go and have a look at our new boat. I can't remember what episode it was, but before I set sail on my eastward voyage, this was the view we had. And we knew we were going to purchase her eventually. And lo and behold, she's now ours. So I have sailed the Sanbuq before. Those of you who have been with me since episode 1 will remember I did a little tour at Alchemist Island, but here she is in all her glory. So much like the original dhow, she has lateen sails, but she has 2 of them. She has a main and a mizzen. I plan on taking her into the shipyard to give her a little upgrade, and in particular, I'm told that the rudder is pretty much essential. You have to get the larger rudder for the Sanbuq just to increase our turning point. Because in low winds, I think we'll get out here, but she does take quite a while to turn, and I would like to manoeuvre her perhaps a bit closer to the trader. But first we'll jump on and have a wee look around. I've put our navigation lights up. This is pretty much what's left of water. I think we've got some left in this crate. We've still got our candles, and this one obviously we've got a couple of navigational goodies, instruments. We've got some more fishing hooks and our fishing line there, a table with a knife and the Alchemist map. As I say, I haven't really found a good place to put any of this stuff yet. I was more concerned with actually getting everything on board without destroying our dhow that you can just see off in the distance there. We've got our clock and our big chonky bottle and our compass up here. And then down below decks, it gets pretty dark down here at night, so I'll need to get a couple more lanterns. We've got our broom, and we've got a little pile of oranges. So no crates left for the oranges or the water, but we can pretty much start again and build up our resources. I'll get some more of that smoked fish, the sunspot fish. But yeah, there we go. So I reckon we probably have enough on board to pick up a couple of missions, or at least one to take the Sanbuq on her maiden voyage. But first of all, I'm going to go and get some bread to of course start off another ungodly pile, because I'm quite fond of that play style, we'll call it. Here we go, 5 loaves of bread. I'll come get a square meal before we go. Come get a decent bit of lamb or something. But let's go and see what missions we can get as a maiden voyage. I'd probably quite like to go to Oasis just because it's further away and it'll give us a good chance to gauge how quickly she is. Wind wise, let's see here, the wind is blowing. That is not a compass. We'll have to run back and check the wind. Alright folks, this is what we're needing. So wind wise, the wind seems to be blowing east northeast. So we can certainly head north and south, but westward is going to be a little bit of a struggle, but I believe the Sanbuq is pretty good at close haul sailing anyway. So we'll just go and see what's available, but remember we can completely fill this boat and earn a tidy little profit. After the 3 missions I showed you in the intro, we have 8,340 Alchemist lions. I don't think our reputation has gone to the next level. Nope, still quite a while to go. But it was something. We can take 5 missions. So let's just see what's available. I'm immediately quite tempted to go to Alchemist Island. I know it's a shorter sail, but it looks like we're going to get quite a lot on board. And there's a lot of those smaller crates, so we're going to go to Alchemist Island without even really thinking about it. So we've got 6 blue tobacco, 3 green tobacco. I know we've got a bigger vessel, but I'm going to try and take as many of the smaller boxes as possible, just because you tend to get a lot of those, which is good for our reputation percentage. So we can take 5 lots of cave mushrooms and 4 lots of forest mushrooms. What else can we take? We've got some black tobacco, only 2 lots of those, but we'll get all of this on board folks. And I suppose we'll take mail, and we've already taken 5 missions actually, so we can't do that. So here we go, everything to be stocked on. I think I'll be using our transport guy this time. Let's see what trade we can take to Alchemist Island. I'm immediately going to check the tobacco. So we're buying here, selling here, and here's the profit. So white tobacco is not going to do much for us. Green tobacco is alright. So I think I'll take a couple of those. Brown tobacco is not really much. I don't know if that's worth taking just yet. A half decent amount for blue tobacco, so I'll take a couple of those. Not much for medicine. Goods is decent. They're bigger crates, but that's getting closer to 50%. So I'll take a couple of crates of goods. Anything on the last page? Probably should have checked the very... I didn't even know marble was a thing. Is this part of the beta? Because I have signed up for that now. You're at the wrong port. Right, let's just see if there's any of the cheaper items. Salmon. Yep, an alright little profit for salmon. So we'll be taking that to Alchemist Island. I think I was looking at the academy there. Whoops. I hope I've been looking at the right one for all of this. Water is pretty expensive here. We will need water for the boat, but it's a lot cheaper at Alchemist Island, so we'll buy it there instead. We've got enough to get us there. And we have cider as well, which is apparently new. Doesn't look like we can make much of a profit with cider, at least here. A little bit of a profit on oranges. But I'm going to hold off on oranges. Apples, is that new? I can't tell. Grain. A decent profit for forest mushrooms, so we'll take a couple of those. Same for this one crate of cave mushrooms. Pork. I'm just taking what I can here. Couple crates of pork. We've got 1,000 left. So I reckon a wee crate of leather will do. And now the fun task of getting all this on board. So I'll be back with you folks when I have everything in my inventory. Alright folks, we have our inventory ready to go. Stocking the vessel is not something I would usually do on camera, but since we have a new boat for the first time, I think it's worth doing. So I'm going to shove a wee pile of smaller crates up at the very front of the hold here. As you can hopefully hear, my wind chimes are running strong. But we're just going to make a nice little orderly pile at the bow here. And then we'll do a couple more. I would like to spread everything around the boat a little bit better. This crate that's up at the bow doesn't seem to want to sit still. Not sure why. So that can sit here for now. And what's the biggest? I think the biggest crate we have is leather. So we'll find a decent spot for that. That works for me. Alright folks, so I think for the rest, I'll do a couple more small crates in here. And then this space will be for larger crates. And if we run out of space, I will put everything else up on the deck here. And then I'm going to buy a couple of lanterns. So I'll be with you after all of that. Alright folks, we have everything on board. I'll give you a quick peek. So we've got a wee random pile here. I haven't been too organised below the deck here. But Got loads of stuff stuffed up front, a couple of bits here, and a lot amidships there. I think we will be bow heavy, but I suppose it's a good test for the dhow. I've installed a lantern here, which I'll check at night, but I'm hoping that that gives enough light to light up our quarters here. And even though I've got the navigation lights here, I've put another one on the mizzen mast, with the intentions of that being handy to pick up, turn on, and then go walk around. So that's the start of our interior design. I haven't chopped the bread yet because I haven't decided where I want the ungodly pile to be, so better do that soon. I think I'd maybe like to not have a pile up on this space, but we'll see. I'll decide that as time goes. So nothing left to do but to prepare to set sail. The wind is still east-northeast or thereabouts, so we will be able to, well, we might struggle to pull out. She might need a wee push, but we'll try and see if we can get away with it, but I'm not very hopeful that we'll get much forward momentum here. But I'll just take these out. Now I should quickly check. We have this, which I assume is the halyard for the mainmast. Nothing else up front there. We have the sheet for the mainmast next to our helm here. And then if we head aft, we have, now I'm going to get these mixed up, I can feel. So, right, I'm always going to be looking back when I do this. So on the right hand side, or the port side, we have the halyard, and on the starboard side we have our sheet for the mizzen. So much like the Cacum, this boat is going to be all about balancing those two sails. But let's go and give her a little nudge, get her moving just a wee touch, and see if that's enough momentum to start a wee turn. And I think it has been, so we're obviously quite strong. So it looks like we are going to hit that sandbank, so I'm thinking if I let down a wee bit of sail and then push her from here, the wind should then hit that sail and start to turn her around a bit more quickly. So not a stylish undocking procedure, but one that works. And we'll just focus on getting ourselves out of the harbour, and then we'll work out what direction we want to be going in. We will need to sleep on this voyage, so it'll be a good little test, because usually when heading to Alchemist Island you can sleep once for about half of your energy. So we'll see how much we can sleep on this vessel. So it was port side, there we go, and I think we're close hauling there, and she's moving. So now I just need to see if she's balanced. So I'm watching this pointer here on the compass to see if there's a slight turn. With the Cacum, I had to let out the mizzen a wee bit to stop her turning on her own. So we'll see if the Sanbuq is the same. If I remember rightly, it is. You always have to let out the mizzen mast just a wee bit. So maybe just a bit like that. And that should promote balance. But there we go, folks, it's the end of an era. There's our dhow just there. We'll keep the dhow, obviously. I don't think you can actually sell boats in this game, but we'll keep her. It'd be nice to do some challenges with the dhow in the future. Well, she's just slowly navigating herself away from port. Here is the map from the sort of little intro scene I showed you. So orange is the first voyage, green for the second, and then blue for my return voyage. The return voyage was mostly a close haul with a very heavy vessel, but now that I've showed you that, we can clear that and start a new one. So it doesn't really have the little actual dock on the map. So say we started here, and we're probably about here. And then the rest we will do some pilotage for. Good time to get all the lights on, get them tested. I'll just leave them on whilst asleep as well. We are rich in candles. Down below for this one here. And yeah, that kind of works. I can maybe if I pop this here, that's a bit better. We can see our hammock. Hunger wise, we're good. We did stay in the tavern at the start of the episode, so everything has been put back to normal. And yeah, we can just enjoy this sail. Plenty of resources on board, and we will be picking up water, and we'll probably try and get a bunch of not energy elixirs, snake oils whilst we're there as well, just for the future, although I'd probably prefer to have a separate crate for those, but we'll see. I wonder if you can buy empty crates, because I have a feeling that didn't help my bug issues either, because it did get to a point where wherever I sold a crate, I then went back and just couldn't open any of the other ones, so I had to restart the game again. So it was a slightly frustrating time I had, but we got there in the end. And now we have a beautiful, beautiful new vessel. She looks great with the lights there. Red on one side, green on the other. Beautiful. Right, how well is she holding course? I've balanced her just slightly west of south. I'm going to just dead reckon us about here, because it doesn't really matter. Because I just need to get the exact direction for Alchemists, which is, as you can see, pretty much south there. If I copy that line, and then if you look at the compass on the right hand side of your screen, that's pretty much what we want to be doing. And I think the sails are pretty decent, so yep, she's sailing very well at close haul. So I'm going to use this opportunity for our first danger nap. I won't eat anything now, but I tell you what, I will quickly chop up this bread. If I have to move that off camera, I will. But I'd rather it started the drying process now, and we'll have our cooked lamb when we wake up. So I will have a few swigs of water. And here we go, if we're drinking a bottle, we'll put it there. Quick check on the course, looks good to me. So, time to go to bed. I did say I was going to leave those on, because we'll probably... Actually no, I'm Scottish till the very end. Even though I just literally said I've got plenty of candles, we're going to hold on to what we've got. Turn on our little night light. We'll maybe leave that one on, so that it's not scary overnight. Right, good night folks, see you in the morning, hopefully we've kept course. Alright, we've woken up, so let's go and see. Turn this guy off. Well, can still see Gold Rock behind me, and I think you can just make out a little lateen sail of another dhow there. Maybe someone's stolen ours. Although we've got the gaff, don't we? I'm not seeing any sight of Alchemist Island or anything like that, but I have noticed we haven't fully slept. Maybe my eyes deceive me, but I think I can maybe see islands off in the distance there, which would check out. So I think I'm just going to sleep off what's left of my energy and hope that we don't A, smash into Alchemist Island, or B, fly past it. So yep, that's our little update, and I'll see you when I wake up, hopefully with a little bit of daylight coverage. Okay folks, it's a bit dark, but I did just wake up to the sound of... Yep, okay, well, we have made it to Alchemist Island. That wasn't really the intention to arrive like this, but I did leave it to chances, didn't I? So I've only got myself to blame for that. But I think I'm going to reduce the mizzen sail and see if I can just push her around. I was hoping to get a wee practice at docking, but I suppose this is close enough. Are we going to be able to push her out with the wind in the sails? Yes, we are. Just keep pushing her back. The wind is off to the port side, so we'll be able to turn without close hauling too close to the dock. But I'm just going to keep pushing back because, as I say, I know she's got a pretty reduced turning circle. Just hoping I can, yep, see the ladders in the dark. The other thing I wanted to do was purchase a bed to put somewhere up here, because the Sanbuq's pretty notorious for having you wake up in the sea. And she's also quite fast, so I don't want to run the risk of falling asleep, waking up in the sea, and then losing the boat or dying of thirst as I'm trying to swim after her. We are... Okay, so I was wrong about the close hauling thing as well. I'm not off to a very good maiden voyage here, but that is fine. I'm okay with that, as long as you guys are. Okay, we have what I think is forward momentum. I wouldn't say very much. It's very hard to see. You can hear the sails struggling a little bit. So yes, this is not off to the best sail. I'd be tempted to reload a previous save. However, I don't tend to save whilst I'm playing. I turn saves off so it's only on game quit. So if I reloaded a previous save, that would mean filling our cargo hold again. And that was quite a job with everything we've got. And it's going to be quite a job getting everything out to then sell at Alchemist Island. As you can see, she turns very slowly. So I'm thinking perhaps my best move here is going to be just get ourselves a bit further away, turn round and try a new approach. We can open up the mainsail a touch. That'll pick up speed for us. And I think once we head a bit further away, we can just head back in this direction, and then we'll get a nice turn to dock. Docking is a little bit harder, just because of the size of the vessel compared to the size of that tiny wee dock there. I think I'm ready for my cooked lamb. And we'll have a few pre-dock swigs of water. There we go, we've got a finished bottle here. Right, let's try and turn her around. Locking and watching. Let's get this baby lit up. We don't need our light below decks at this point in time. Right, I should bring the sheet in now, because we are at a beam reach for a small moment in time. It's quite hard to see the wind markers at night on this vessel. It'd be cool if that would be if that's something you could install, if you could install your own wind markers. It maybe is already a thing and I just haven't worked out how to do it. But as far as I'm aware, it's not a thing, because I'm sure I've looked for that in the past. Right. So the wind is, we're at a close haul again. That's become a beam reach on the opposite side. So we're close reached rather. And as you can see, it's still quite a slow turn. But that's alright, I think we'll get it this time. Even if we have to go face first into the harbour again. because I want to get everything off of this vessel. Right, as we turn, the wind is moving behind us, so I can pull the main sheet in again. And as you know already, folks, whenever I go quiet, it's because I'm being forced to use what brain cells I have left. Especially after those drunken ocean voyage sails. And also, last night was the end of the Six Nations. And Scotland were playing. We lost to France. Very sad about that, but it was a very good game. So I was up late as a result of all that rugby debauchery. I think we're moving a bit too quickly, so I'm just going to completely get rid of the mainsail here and hope that slows us down enough. And then I'm just going to start a turn. Okay, that's with the helm turned round as far as it'll go. So we have very much left this to chance, and I would bet money it does look like we are going to hit the harbour. So, a wee cheaty nudge. We're still going to hit the harbour despite the nudge, but hopefully it's just a nice delicate little scrape. So I will grab my mooring lines, one forward, pull her along, and I will grab the stern line. If I can remember where the stern line is, there we go. Big leap of faith. And there we are. I'll just pull that in a little bit. 200 odd hours in this game, and I didn't realise you could alter the mooring lines like this. I thought you had to go on board and do it that way. So every day's a school day, folks. Alright, so it has been a while, but we've made it to Alchemist Island. Our lad isn't open yet, but whilst I'm here, I'm going to grab a couple of barrels of water, just to keep that on board, and then we can just fill up water bottles. But what I'm doing is every time I get to port, I will buy something to prepare for a future ocean voyage. So yeah, for now, I'm just going to get all of the cargo up along to the trader. I'll bring the last barrel of water on, and I'll be back with you. Oh my word, folks. That was some proper hard work. That was like a full-time job. I tell no word of a lie, that took me about 20 minutes, maybe even more. Because there's no transport guy here, so everything you see was brought individually by me. This is the little pile of missions, and then this is a little pile of trade. So I'm going to get the missions in first, but obviously I won't do that on camera because you'll hate me. So here we are, we've got 111 Alank Lions for now, and reputation wise we're on 9717. So I'll chuck in the missions first, and I'll give you the update. Alright folks, so that's all the missions in. We're on 355 lions now. Obviously you don't make a massive amount of money with missions, but it's all about the reputation, which we are now halfway to 1100. So, pretty decent there. Sorry, 11,000 rather. So that's a decent little bit of reputation. I think it's going to take a long time before we get to the next discount. Well, especially if we stay in the same archipelago, of which we won't be. Pretty soon, we're either going to Aestrin, or what's the other one called? Is it Firefish Lagoon? Yeah, so we're either going here or Aestrin. Happy Bay might be involved somewhere or another, but I think that's going to be another pole. I'm told that this archipelago isn't that great for larger vessels, and then this is a starter archipelago with some new islands, so I'm told. So I'd be pretty keen to head up there. Both archipelagos I have never been to before, but I reckon that'll be left to a poll. But let's check what we've got in terms of trade. Cave and forest mushrooms, leather, pork, salmon, goods, blue tobacco, green tobacco. Hopefully I remember that, and let's make some money. So, green tobacco. It was blue tobacco. Goods. And then we had our mushrooms, didn't we? Did we have pork? Yes. Cave mushrooms, forest mushrooms, and there was leather. We'll go sell our leather. Let's see, what else have we got? 2 lots of salmon. I cannot see where, there we go. 2 lots of salmon. So I think I can't remember, it was about 8,000 and something, and now we're up to 10,262. We'll remember to get that receipt, of course, because there's a lot in there. And that was our maiden voyage. Also, our lad is open here, so if we want, we can pick up some snake oil and energy elixir. I'm actually just going to take a decent amount of snake oil, because who knows when I'm going to be back, and it'd be good to stock up on that. So off camera I will stock up on snake oil. I'll find a good place for it on board. I'll get a couple more energy elixirs, and I'll find a way to keep them separate so we don't have any issues like we did in a previous episode. And then I'll be back with you for the next episode, where I will check and see if there's any money to be made trading from Alchemist Island. But really we want to be headed back to Gold Rock so that we can play around with the shipyard and upgrading our lovely Sanbuq here. So what did we learn? We learned she sails much like the Kakum. She's very fast close hauling, and I guess the most important lesson is don't go to sleep when you can see land off in the distance, particularly if that's the land that you are going to, because that land came and whacked us in the face. We've got a huge cloud arriving right as I'm trying to do an outro shot. I imagine that might be a storm on the way, who knows. So yeah, lessons learned, but more importantly, I'm in love with our new vessel. So if you've got any name ideas, of which I know I've had a couple from some of you, please let me know in the comments what we should call her. I have been Shipwrecked Sean. This has been episode 25, and I'll see you next time. Cheerio.